What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for another Tottenham update. Fairly short one for you today, but there was news breaking on Julian Nagelsmann last night with Fabrizio Romano and Matt Law today, so let's get into that. First of all, the Times reported yesterday that Nagelsmann is the first choice to take over at Tottenham at the end of the season. Then Romano came in last night and says Julian Nagelsmann is one of the top names in the Tottenham list. Tottenham are convinced that Nagelsmann is the perfect man to build something long-term, to try and build an idea, to bring in players for him and completely change the structure and idea around the club. Spurs are convinced he is the perfect man to build something long-term, similar to what Erik ten Hag is doing at Manchester United. Nagelsmann isn't prepared to advance the final stages of the negotiations with Tottenham until he knows what's going on with the board. It's a standby situation at the moment. Tottenham sources feel that finding an agreement with Bayern Munich for Nagelsmann will not be a problem. Julian is the top priority for Spurs, however, only until he knows who the next sporting director is. That's when the talks will advance to the final stages. And Matt Law saying that Nagelsmann remains the number one target for Daniel Levy, having already been approached over the job, but will not consider an offer until he knows who the next director of football will be. The intention is that Tottenham will hire a new director of football to work under Munn from outside the club, and that will be key to Nagelsmann's view on the job. Nagelsmann is thought to be interested and intrigued by the Tottenham job, but is adamant that he must feel he can win trophies and compete for top players in the transfer market in his next job. And sources believe that compensation bill Bayern would be due for Nagelsmann could run past the £10 million mark.
Yeah, I mean, but when you talk about fees like £10 million, I think for a fee for a manager who could completely change the culture of the club and the way that we play football and also improve players, I think 10 million is honestly nothing in that regard, because you shouldn't be thinking of it like, oh, we could get another manager for free and all this stuff. It's like if he's the right manager, I think he can have such a big impact that 10 million will be a drop in the water on the impact he can make. So for me, I don't see that. I think 10 million is actually nothing compared. Look, we drop 10 million on nothing when we sign players, don't we? Like 10 million isn't a lot of money.
How much did we have to give to Nuno for sacking him?
Like, yeah, exactly. So, like, I don't see that being shouldn't be a stumbling block anyway. But it's really encouraging, I have to say, really encouraging this news that we're coming out about Nagelsmann, because it does seem there's more noise coming out from his side saying he would be interested in the job now. There's Sky Germany reporting there's definitely interest from Nagelsmann about the project at Tottenham, and he has to see. Surely he could see this as an opportunity, because if you actually like doing something with Tottenham, like that would propel you like into like you could get any job if you do something good with Tottenham, honestly, because of how Conte and Mourinho have failed, two born winners. If you come into this job and actually win something, then like he surely has to see this as an opportunity, especially after being at Bayern Munich, where he's already been at like pretty much the top of the tree in Germany. Like I don't think he probably isn't in a massive rush after having that experience to get back there. I would assume he probably wants a job like Tottenham. I think this probably fits right now. So it's definitely encouraging that he hasn't like laughed us out the room. It's encouraging that he's waiting for a sporting director to be appointed to make the final decision. Obviously, I'm not going to get too excited just yet, but it's definitely more encouraging than I would expect it at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the one we all wanted. I mean, I actually recently just watched that video of when Pochettino got sacked, and Nagelsmann was the one I wanted then. I said either Nagelsmann or Ten Hag, and that hasn't aged too badly, to be honest. But Nagelsmann has got to be we got to be pulling out all the stops to bring in this guy. We really do, because when you're looking at a manager, a young manager, progressive manager that can really take us forward and could be here for a long time as well and see over a project, a rebuild project that he's seen over before at other clubs in Germany. I just think he is the best fit for the job, either him or Pochettino. There's no one that can fit that role better than those two. And with Pochettino seemingly going out to Chelsea, so he's got to be the number one target, and we got to do everything and anything we can to get him in this job, because I can't see another manager that's more suited to the role than him.
Yeah, and I think Nagelsmann as well, he'll come in knowing what he wants from the team and what he wants in each position. And hopefully we can fulfill that. Obviously, he's going to want a lot of control over transfers, a lot of control and a lot of say about recruitment and things like that. But I think that's what we need at this club. We need someone like Nagelsmann with these fresh ideas about how to move forward. And I think that's really, really encouraging that he's potentially willing to come here because I think we didn't want a manager coming here thinking like we're a step down. But at the end of the day, most managers in this day and age don't only last 2 or 3 years, apart from like Klopp, Arteta, Guardiola. But hopefully he's a manager at his age. He could be here for a long time if he's very successful, because he's so young. He could be here for like 5 or 10 years and still have another whole career ahead of him. So for me, I think he's the perfect appointment. I really hope that this noise is not just talk and there actually is substance to it, because it's very, very encouraging, I have to say.
Yeah, it is encouraging, but, it still goes back to the ownership every single time, doesn't it? Because Nagelsmann and the ownership's visions have to align, and we don't know if that's the case right now. We know that we've just been happy to get top 4 over and over again. Is that too unambitious for Nagelsmann? I don't know. Probably not. Probably too unambitious for Nagelsmann, to be honest. And also the sporting director decision as well. I mean, we need to bring in someone that can really take us forward and really work with Nagelsmann, and really for someone that Nagelsmann sees as an ambitious appointment. Otherwise, he'll just say no to the job and he'll set his sights elsewhere. So there's still a lot of work to be done before we bring him in, or before he can either consider coming to the club. But we need to sort that out ASAP, because time is running out.
Yeah, definitely a sporting director has to have the same vision as Nagelsmann, and they have to align on that front. And they have to kind of agree on, like, the sporting director has to have a vision, like, this is how I want the team to play. This is how from a footballing wise on the pitch, this is what I want to see. And then Nagelsmann has to kind of agree with that vision. So it has to have a sporting director in first, 100%, which really frustrates me that we're hearing more names about managers and sporting directors at the moment. But the good thing is we are starting to hear a few more names of sporting directors now, and hopefully, because I think obviously the sporting director is not going to be a headline name usually. It's not going to be something that's going to grab headlines. So maybe there is stuff more happening behind the scenes that we know about when it comes to sporting director. And then once we do get that done, hopefully that will be enough to convince Nagelsmann that this is a bit of project he wants to be part of.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move on to the last update, and that is revolving the goalkeeping situation at Tottenham. The Times are reporting that Tottenham are considering David Raya and Jordan Pickford as replacements for Hugo Lloris. 90 Minutes reporting that Valencia's Georgi Mamardashvili, Brentford's David Raya, Porto's Diego Costa and Inter's Andre Onana are all goalkeeping targets for Tottenham this summer. So, I mean, all of the names, I mean, maybe bar Jordan Pickford, I would really much like at Tottenham.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, Nagelsmann's going to want a ball-playing goalkeeper. I think that's the way of how the Premier League's going. We haven't had one ever because Lloris isn't very good with his feet. So it'd be nice to actually have a goalkeeper who's comfortable with the ball at his feet and able to clip passes into the fullback, or even what Ederson does, which is like play through balls, even from his own box over the top. But I think Pickford is very good with his feet. But the problem I have with Pickford is I think he's a good keeper, but I think his shot stopping is like only above average. It's not like amazing. I think his commanding of his area isn't great either. So I do have reservations over Pickford. I think David Raya is a better goalkeeper in my opinion. I think he's definitely more commanding. I think he's a better shot stopper, and he's pretty good with his feet as well. So, and I think the other options are younger, less experienced. They're not experienced in the Premier League, but I think they're also quite young. So that could be a case of, yes, they might struggle in their first year, and maybe they'll have Forster to help them in that first year. But if given time, they can become very good goalkeepers, and that's exciting as well. So obviously it depends on who the manager is and who they suggest, but all those goalkeepers seem like that's the kind of keeper we want. That's the right profile, and that's what I'm happy about.
Yeah, and it's actually good that it seems as though we are being linked with the right profile, because how many times have we seen it where we desperately need a player and we're just linked with completely the wrong profile of player in that specific position, whereas the goalkeeping position now, it looks as though we are being linked with the exact right profile that we need.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the most positive thing. And when it goes to the manager as well, I think we're being linked with the right managers that will see us play progressive football. And hopefully they're going to get it right with the decision making this time. I mean, it's taken many, many years. I mean, I'm still not convinced that they will, but hopefully the signs are good, but they're going to take
good before.
Exactly. It's going to take a lot of convincing, and we know what happened 2 years ago. Same thing happened. We had this. We were going in a good direction. Then it all got switched up very quickly. So hopefully that doesn't happen again this time. But look, the signs are all right, but they've got a lot of trust to regain from the fans before we start praising anything from the ownership.
Oh, totally. Absolutely spot on. If they can ever regain it, I don't know, but let's hope they can. Let's hope that we can go in the right direction. And that's all we want. That's all we want, to be honest. Whatever anyone's feelings on the hierarchy, that's all we want is a good Tottenham Hotspur, is what's best for Tottenham Hotspur. So,
100%.
yeah, that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on Nagelsmann, your thoughts on the goalkeeping situation as well. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come